Good to see you this Friday evening. I'm meteorologist Claire Fry here, joining you with the latest on our weather impact alert. This is going to be extended here for the next hour or so due to the threat of thunderstorms moving in very slowly, bringing in that increased risk of flash flooding and even damaging wind gusts over the next hour or so. We're going to continue to track these storms. Continuing to track also this coverage with more storms continuing to pop up, mainly for westernmost counties, at least in our area, but there are still a couple of strong to severe thunderstorms right now in central parts of North Carolina over there toward Raleigh, and even along our coastline, a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings too. But keeping an eye out on the Triad particularly, this is where we're really seeing kind of the strongest storms. It really is over here toward Wilkes County, moving east into portions of Yadkin County and Surry County pretty quickly. I'm going to kind of storm track this with you guys. A lot of cloud to ground lightning within this storm, and I'm going to zoom in on where we're seeing really kind of the most rainfall coming down. This is right along Rock Creek Road, where we're seeing tons and tons of lightning right near Rhonda over Roaring River Road, Red, White, and Blue Road. That's a new one. I haven't heard that one. Clingman Road, just south of Rhonda. So a lot of heavy rainfall coming down, not just in Wilkes, but also in northern portions of Iredell County, where isolated storms have also started to form. So this is kind of continuing to push east at around 25 miles per hour. And I'm going to time that out for you guys so we can kind of see who's getting the storm next. And I'm going to go all the way throughout the next hour and a half or so. If this holds together, places like Elkin here in the next couple of minutes getting hit by this storm. If it starts to redevelop here and keeps holding that strength, Yadkinville, you're up next at around 825. Forbush, 841, Clemens at around 905, and then, of course, moving deeper into Forsyth County from west to east, Winston-Salem by around 920. If this continues to hold together, of course. And, we'll continue to keep eyes on it over the next little bit, too. I do want to see if there is any hail within this storm, and it looks like as of right now there actually is some hail, so I want to track that with you and see kind of what those amounts look like here. This is just south of Rhonda, where I showed you the higher rain rates and like the real intensity of the storm, really right here. A little over half an inch in diameter for just south of Rhonda, and also just south of North Wilkesboro, a little under around half an inch, I would say, in diameter. So, keeping that in mind, those are really the big storms that we're tracking for right now, at least the clusters right now. Other isolated pop-up storms possible into portions of Surry County as we continue to watch this kind of line form across the area. We'll continue to watch that over the next little bit of time. But really the most severe storms are actually well toward our east at this point. You can see the amount of lightning within these storms too. There is a lot, and it's not only that's a threat, but of course it is the damaging winds and the flash flooding. We are in a flash flooding watch until around 4 o'clock into the night tonight, so that's worth mentioning. If you are in a flash flood warning at all, whether it's tonight or also tomorrow afternoon and evening, by the way, not sure if I mentioned it, but our alert does extend tomorrow afternoon and evening as well. It's the same time period from 2 o'clock all the way until midnight due to the same threats that we've been facing for some of us today. Those damaging winds and also the flash flooding concerns continuing into the afternoon and evening from 2 to 9 p.m. But this flood watch is until 4 a.m. tonight due to some of these storms being locally heavy. The good news is that the last several hours, these storms have kind of been moving across our area. I know that's weird to say. They're always moving, but sometimes whenever you have these locally heavy downpours in the summertime without a good steering current in the upper atmosphere these last couple weeks, they can just produce locally heavy downpours that redevelop and bring in a lot of flash flooding across the area. So, but they really have been moving more so, I would say, just in this afternoon and evening, which has kind of drove away the chance for more flash flooding across the area, but it still certainly is possible. So we'll continue to keep you updated on that for tonight and into tomorrow afternoon and evening. Storm reports over the last 6 hours. Earlier this afternoon, there really wasn't much to report, but most of our reports actually came over here in Surry County, right along the line between Surry and Stokes, where we had those severe thunderstorm warnings earlier on this afternoon, bringing in lots of damaging wind and heavy rainfall and lightning across the area. This just is kind of to show you that we have been seeing some reports of trees down, whether it's in Mount Airy, right along the intersection of East Pine Street and Slate Mountain Road, or another area in Mount Airy, both lanes of travel on Bellevue Drive. So there have been a couple of storm reports that we've seen across the area. Lightning tracker, I did want to note that, you see these kind of dense clusters of lightning within these storms in some locations, and then other places like the majority here of the Piedmont Triad, not seeing much lightning, if anything at all. And that's just, the nature of these pop-up storms. They bubble up fairly quickly. They bring in locally heavy downpours. They bring in lots of cloud-to-ground lightning, and they bring in a damaging wind threat to the area. But then once they fizzle out, you have the opportunity possibly elsewhere too. And they're just very scattered in nature, and it's hard to say exactly where they're going to be and when too, because they're not really tied to an upper level system. Tim and I talked about this in the weather impact show at 6:30, that without an actual system like a cold front in the springtime moving through the area, it's hard to know the exact timing for these storms, especially when they're just more so conducive from the heat and the humidity. Just kind of the atmospheric environment is favorable more so for these pop-up storms rather than an actual upper level system moving through the area. Flood risk for our area today, we still are in a level 2 out of 4. That means scattered flash flooding is going to be possible. The higher threat has been and will stay to our northeast. Lower threat obviously to our south as well as to our west. We haven't been seeing many warnings for the day today, but we have had warnings over the last 7 days of flash flooding. So it's worth keeping a close eye on. If you do get a warning, make sure you're staying home, staying off the roads, and being careful. Severe storm risk for our region, most of us are in that level 1 marginal risk out of 5, meaning isolated severe storms possible if you're in that level 2. In that northeast quadrant for some of us, here in the Piedmont Triad, you're in a level 2, meaning that scattered severe storms are possible. And I really think the majority of them have gone by here. I'm saying this as around 8:07. Majority of these storms have gone by, and don't expect really as many widespread storms over the next several hours, but certainly 1 or 2 will be possible as we continue to kind of wrap this up. And it looks like I actually have brand new information to share with you guys. That storm that was in Stokes and Yadkin, I think they just pulled a severe thunderstorm warning. Yes, they did, and this is until 9 o'clock tonight. Due to the threat of not only wind, but also some hail within this storm. So this is great timing. I get to share this with you live as I get this report. If you are within this severe thunderstorm warning cone, I know it extends through all of really Surry and Yadkin counties. Please get inside, getting away from windows. Make sure you're in a safe spot. There's some damaging winds that are possible within this storm as it continues to kind of push east, and it also has a little bit of hail within the storm as well. So I'm going to kind of also throw up a 3D slice of what this storm currently looks like while we're on here, and I'm going to make it all the way through Rhonda to kind of show you what we're looking at in this storm. Here we go. And I know this might be seem a little extra cool to look at, but I don't know if you can see it, but that actual little dot, I'm going to point an arrow right here, right between 10 and 20,000 feet up in the atmosphere, which is basically a mountain of a storm extended through the atmosphere. That little pink dot illustrates the hail core, which is where you have hail that's able to go above the freezing zone, collect super cooled water droplets, and then go below and collect more and more and more, and that's where we're seeing the most hail form in that particular zone that you can see right there in the purple. I'm going to pull up and see if I can find what rainfall rates are across the area. Again, this is in Rhonda. This severe thunderstorm warning is until 9 o'clock tonight for counties here in Surry, Wilkes, and also in Yadkin, and I'm going to close it right on that dot there for that hail core where we're seeing that precip rate at around 10 inches an hour. Again, that's just for that one particular spot, but even over here, kind of to our northwest, it's up to around 4.5 inches per hour. here in the center here, just toward the left of that hail core, around 5 to 6 inches an hour. So you really can see a lot of rain in a very short amount of time. Whenever you have these locally heavy downpours that just, will pop up across the area. And I'm going to stay with you guys just another minute or so as I continue to kind of track this new severe thunderstorm warning. Again, it's continuing to kind of push toward the east, and I'm going to check in with our National Weather Service partners to make sure I know the exact speed of which it's moving. It's actually moving northeast at around 20 miles per hour. So I'm going to show you guys where exactly this is going, and I'm going to put in the exact timing too. So pushing northeast at around 20 miles per hour. Let's take it from up. Ooh. Hold on. There we go. You guys get the storm track on the fly with me. I'm not sure why that one did a little squiggly line, but we're just gonna go with it. Elkin already being impacted, my little squiggle. Yadkinville coming up by around 8:30, 8:46 in Forbush. Shoals, you're up next at around 9:06, 9:21 there in Tobaccoville for impacts for this severe storm. It does look like this warning will be up until around 9 o'clock, but if it continues to extend and show signs of, kind of growing and maintaining its strength, it could be a problem for portions of Forsyth as well as Stokes counties and even toward Rockingham and Guilford counties if this really kind of continues to hold together across the area. So we're going to keep eyes on this. I'm going to do one final look at the hail tracks to see really what we've been seeing as if that has changed at all. This is just off of Hayes, just toward the east. And I'm going to look and see what hail it has estimated, really up to around an inch or so and some hail. So if you have any reports at home, if you're within this severe thunderstorm warning, please send in photos, videos. We'd love to share them on air and online, of course. Just make sure that you're staying safe while doing so, even if it's just after the storm, to show the amount of rainfall that we've seen kind of across the region. Again, our weather impact alert is going to continue all the way until 9 o'clock tonight, which is pretty timely with this severe thunderstorm warning now impacting portions of Surrey, Wilkes, and Yadkin counties. It's going to continue here through around 9 o'clock. Could get extended or even expire early if the storm shows signs of weakening. So we'll continue to keep you posted on that. I'm going to leave you guys with a look at our full 7-day forecast. Again, tomorrow, going to reiterate, we still have the alert from 2 p.m. all the way until 9 p.m. And then we can still see a little bit of clearing these next couple of days. Pop-up storms going to be possible for Sunday, even into early next week, a little bit unsettled and a little bit cooler in the low to mid 80s, but mainly dry. Look at that by the time we're into mid to late parts of next week. Thanks for joining us. We'll continue to keep you updated. Stay safe and have a good weekend.